Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining ClicData's webinar series. Today, we're going to be talking about how to combine data and measure outbound and inbound activity using RingCentral and the ClicData app. A few words about ClicData. ClicData is the world's first 100% cloud-based solution. Founded in 2009, we do have offices in Canada, the United States, and France, as well as partner offices in Latin America, Asia, and Australia. ClicData is currently managing over 1 million KPIs and 100,000 data sets with 100,000 published dashboards per hour, and 95% of those that use ClicData would recommend them to their peers. ClicData has 4 basic concept steps. The first step is you connect to any data, any source, anywhere. Pull that into the ClicData data warehouse that's included in every subscription, which allows you to then do things like join, blend, basically prepare that data from multiple sources. Pull that in through the BI engine so you can create stunning dashboards, reports, and visualization, and then of course share and publish that data, those reports. Today's agenda, we'll be talking about standard telephony reporting versus blended reporting, using derived metrics versus direct metrics, how to connect your sales data from CRM or marketing campaigns directly with your RingCentral. And I will be showing a fully integrated interactive dashboard that you can actually use right now as a template. And we'll also touch a little bit on services. Standard reporting is pretty good in most telephony products. RingCentral is no exception. They provide a lot of information. There's a lot of data in telephony reporting. They give you raw numbers. They let you do drill downs. The reports are single purpose, and they're canned, and they can be hard to customize. The thing is, there's so much data in applications like RingCentral, and it's a very easy application to connect with, that data becomes important. That data becomes very vital to being able to really understand what your sales, your marketing departments, and customer service departments are doing. Every CRM has phone numbers in it. Every marketing campaign has phone numbers. Your AP and AR systems, all of your customers and all of your prospects have phone numbers. If you think about it, the phone number becomes a key, almost like a customer key that spans across multiple systems. What this allows you to do is integrate data from things like RingCentral with CRMs such as HubSpot, Salesforce, Sugar, Insightly, Pipeline. It doesn't matter what CRM is, ClicData will connect with it. And now you're able to blend that reporting using our smart connectors, pulling that into the data warehouse, and create dynamic live dashboards, automated alerts. Goal of this is to create automated reporting, both in updating the reports as well as publishing to those that you want to see the reporting. If you kind of look at it this way, pulling data in from someplace like your CRM or your campaign data, along with RingCentral or any telephony or voice over IP product into ClicData, allows you to create customized dashboard, which in turn deliver actionable insights, not just information. It provides actual feedback and recommendations, which allows better coaching of your staff. It provides a single version of the truth, so you're not arguing over who's done what. You can now do things like validate your pipeline, believe it or not. Is your pipeline as good as your reps are saying it? We'll talk a little bit about that. Also allows you to sync sales and marketing together. Right now, I'm going to go in and share an example of a live dashboard that we've created using CRM data as well as the RingCentral application. So what you see here is something that we've taken a basic RingCentral report, and we've made it actually easier to consume as a user. So while this information is readily available in RingCentral, what we've provided is a better way of viewing it. You can do simple things like understand your response rate. You'll be able to better take a look at things like you can say, well, I don't want to see the weekends, or I do want to see the weekends included in my reporting. I want to see the last 90 days. I want to see the last 7 days. It's all right here, and it becomes very easy for you to, at a glance, understand how you want to use the system and use that data. You can quickly toggle between inbound and outbound, and you see the information that you normally would get out of RingCentral. It's just much easier to consume, a faster way of looking at it. And this also allows you to be able to look at this information on your cell phone or your smartphone or your tablet or desktop or PC. Now let's look at call target activity. This becomes interesting when you start having reps with multiple roles. So here we have both business development reps, BDRs, as well as account managers, and what they've done combined over the last 30 days. We see the number of prospect dials, the number of account dials, and the number of calls they went into numbers or customers that aren't in your system. Then you can roll down and say, well, this is the average for the group. Well, I want to actually focus on my business development reps, and I see that they call more prospects than the group average of the entire group. Well, they should, because that's their job. They're calling fewer accounts because BDRs don't generally own accounts, and they're actually calling other accounts more than the AMs. I can now go in here and say, well, I would like to see what Nick Fury's doing. Well, Nick is below the group. He's at 53 calls prospects a day. He's doing 2.5 account calls, but he's calling fewer unknown prospects. Actually, I want to now look at Jean Gray. Jean's doing well. She's calling 53. She's actually calling more accounts, so maybe that's something we should look into. You can also pick specific dates if you wish, and you don't have to worry about re-swizzling a report. It will all show exactly what you wanted to see. Let's go look at campaigns. A lot of times marketing will throw a list of contacts that need to be called, whether that's simple, hey, we need to do a renewal campaign, or this is a cold calling campaign. Either way, there's campaigns for both account managers as well as business development reps. Here we have something that's actually becomes very cool, very insightful. Now we know that Wade Wilson has called 87 users in his TS user campaign, and he's called 253 in his renewal campaign. Telmo, he's called 36 of his Q4 health checks, and he's got called 135 in his PS campaign. Now let's kind of get a little bit more interesting. Let's look at our AMs here, and we'll look at Natasha. Well, Natasha, she's got 30 targets in her total, 300 targets in all of her campaigns. She's called 229, or 76%. She's got 71 more customers she needs to call. So not only now do you have a view of how many calls they're making, you understand who they're calling, when they're calling, and how successful they are with those calls. If you wanted to, you could actually double click on this number, and it would actually give you a list of who she's called. Double click on this one and who she has not. Let's talk a little bit about pipeline cultivation. Now, as a reminder, all this information is simply out of the CRM, which provides forecasting, as well as pipeline, as well as the customer and prospect activity, but it also provides that telephony information, that validation that things are getting done, or at least touch points are being made to the prospects and customers. Here you see that on average, the whole company has, over the last 30 days, has 37 on average per rep marketing qualified leads, 26 sales qualified leads. They've got 10 defined and working deals and 3 committed. Again, this is as a group. If we wanted to, we could come down here and we say, I want to look at Nick Fury. Nick Fury has spent 99 calls calling his marketing qualified leads 804 times. He's called his sales qualified leads, and he's spending a good amount of time on his deals. As a sales manager, this is really good because you can look at somebody and say, well, you tell me you've got 40 deals committed, yet you're not spending any time with them on the phone. You're not doing the steps you need to do to close those deals. It doesn't matter how you want to manage your company. It doesn't matter how you want to manage your sales reps or your customer service reps or your accounts payable. By blending data together from 2 different systems, you now get a much better picture of what everybody's doing and what they're focusing their time on. This becomes very good when you're starting to want to do things like call campaigns or call blitzes. You can actually drill this down by a day and know how many people are getting through a campaign for a specific day. A lot of these things together become very helpful, very insightful for someone to actually run, anybody that runs a multiple center with multiple people, whether that's remotely or in a building that have to manage their day over the telephone. Hopefully that was informative and actually pretty cool, I think. So what I would like to do now is I'm going to turn the time over to Srineve. Shri's going to actually walk through a little bit of how we connect to data and how we can combine that data. And so I'm going to turn that over to Shri.
Thank you, Rob. That was pretty insightful. Just understanding that we can connect to RingCentral and other CRM tools as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the application, talk a little bit about how we get connected to RingCentral if you haven't tried it yet. And similar to what Rob had in terms of call summary, we'll try to connect for a particular user and create a quick report on how you can visualize the number of calls that the particular user is doing on a daily basis and what's the average duration of calls for that particular user. So the first step in connecting to RingCentral is adding a connection to your RingCentral account. You can click on Add New Connection. And once you click on Add New Connection, we connect to a lot of different applications. As Rob mentioned, we connect to CRM tools as well. Salesforce, HubSpot, Pipedrive, Infusionsoft are some of them that we connect to. So you can also get data from your CRM tool along with RingCentral. To connect to RingCentral, all you need to do is select the RingCentral connector and click on the Authorize button. ClicData will redirect you to the RingCentral account. You log into your account, and once logged in, just say Continue as that particular account. ClicData will ask you to authorize the connector. Click on Authorize, and now we are authorized to your RingCentral account. The next step is you can now choose what kind of information would you like to pull over. We have company call logs where you can pull over the information for the entire company, or you could get user call logs where you can get details for per user. Once you select a data set and you click on Next, you have different accounts and filters that you could use in case you want to filter for specific call types only. If you are getting mostly inbound calls and you want to create a report for inbound call, you could filter it right here. Or you can also filter the information on the dashboard also. You can select different call types. You can select different call transports. You can choose if you want to see deleted calls, blocked calls, or you can ignore them. You can also select a specific date range. I'm going to go until current date from start of this particular year. I'll click on Preview to have a quick look on at my data set. So here I can see I have the telephone session ID, the start date when the call started, the duration, the call it was made to, who made the call, etc. Once I click Next, that particular information gets loaded onto ClicData. At this stage, you can set up an automation. So if your sales rep are doing calls every minute, you can keep on refreshing data every hour to get reports up to date, or you can even go ahead and customize it and get report up to a minute. So we have different kind of schedules. And in case you need to set up a report every minute, all you need to do is go to the Schedule tab and just choose every minute instead of every hour. So ClicData goes back to RingCentral and keeps on updating your information every minute. Now that the data has been loaded to ClicData, you can combine it with your CRM information if you want to, or you can go ahead and start creating reports based on this data set. I'm going to go ahead and start creating a report. I go to my dashboard and binders, click on Add New. I'll start by giving a name to my data set. That's my RingCentral report. On the left-hand side, I have different objects that I can use to create my report. So I'd like to visualize the number of calls that I'm getting on a daily basis on an area chart. So I choose an area chart, just drag and drop that area chart anywhere on the dashboard. I select my data set. And once I select my data set, I just choose any column and I say I want to see the count of that particular column, and I would like to see it on a daily basis. And I can see the total number of calls I'm getting every minute. But rather than every minute, I would like to rather see every day. So I can choose day, and I can see the total number of calls I'm getting on a daily basis. But since I'm working with multiple months, I would like to just combine right now and see for every month each year, what's the total number of calls? So these are the total number of calls that I've been getting on my RingCentral account on a monthly basis. Further, I can also try to split this information. If I have some sort of status results, I can try to add this results and see how many of these calls have been received, how many of these calls have been missed. I can definitely add that also onto my CDs. If I want to format the area chart, I can format the area chart. This is the total number of calls I'm getting. So I'm just going to add a title, call count, monthly. And I would like to display the numbers onto the chart. So I'm just going to enable the labels right on the chart so I can see the total number of calls I'm getting on a monthly basis. Now that I have the first indicator ready, I would like to further display the average call duration for this particular account. I could use a number indicator, drag and drop that number indicator anywhere on the dashboard. Same approach, you end up selecting the data set. And once you select a data set, you drag and drop the duration. You could either see sum, which is the total duration. I would like to see that metrics as well. So I'm just going to specify here, that's my total duration. Not have any icons. So this is the total duration of calls I'm receiving. And along with this, I would like to also see an average duration. So I've just done a Control-C, Control-V. So I have copy pasted that particular widget. And to get the average, all I do is change the duration into average. I'm going to format it again. That's my number without any decimals. So let's just reduce it to 2. And this is your average duration. Now that I have these two indicators and the total call counts on a monthly basis, I can add interactive elements as Rob was showing on his example. For instance, the ability to select a specific date range, and based on the date range selected, I want my chart and the top 2 number indicators to change accordingly. I can add a date range to the dashboard. I can select different presets. So I would like to work with the last 60 days, last 90 days, or just year to date. And my default, when I open up the dashboard, I want it to be current year to date. So I just set up that as my default. Once I have this configured on my dashboard, I go back to my objects that I would like to connect, go to sort and filter, add a filter by specifying that the start date is equal to an input widget, and just go ahead and select the date range picker. So now based on the date selected, if I end up selecting last 60 days, it's just going to display me the information for the last 60 days. Last 90 days, it will display me information for the last 90 days. And if I select current year to date, it will display me the entire information. Similar to what I've done for the chart, I can go ahead and connect my number indicators as well. Same approach, you add a filter, specify that the start date is equal to the input widget and the date range picker. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for my average call duration as well. So here you can see within a few minutes, I was able to create a very basic call summary report using my RingCentral dataset. I'll add a title to this, and I'll talk about how ClicData adds value so that you can access this report at any point of time and not just limit it to your RingCentral admin users. You could even create reports that could be shared amongst your reps who are not admin users in RingCentral, and they can also access this report. Now that I have a title for my dashboard, to share this report with my end users, I'll click on the settings, create a live link for this. And once I have a live link, I share this live link with my end users. I can add security measures to the live link, make it public. Now, anyone who has the live link, they can access this report. You can keep this live link public. You can even password protect it, or you can even have a log username and password so that it's secured and only the people that you want to give access can access this report. At ClicData, what we further do is each of our sales rep, they log into the dashboard, but based on who is logging in, we automatically filter this report for that particular sales rep. So that if Rob logs into the report, Rob can only see his metrics, and he can also have his benchmark compared with the rest of the account manager team. If someone else from the team signs in, they can see their metrics, but they can always have a comparison on how they stand compared to the entire team. So that's the added advantage with ClicData, where you can create a multi-tenant setup based on who is logging in. They can only access their information, but they can also compare themselves on how the other team members are doing, and they can discuss on how they can improve better, or if they need to focus on calling prospects or closing more deals, they can make sure they focus on that side. So that's a very quick demo of the product. I'm going to pass it back to Rob to talk a little bit more about ClicData and services. If you have any questions as I've gone through the demo, please feel free to add those questions. We'll take them at the end.
Thanks, Shri. Appreciate that. It's always great to see how easy it is to use ClicData. I do want to touch base a little bit on services. ClicData is a self-service product. However, with the more people that we have using the product every day, the more powerful we become. We have larger companies, busier companies, folks that either don't have the time or the interest to actually build the dashboards, connect to that data, normalize that data, blend, join that data, do some of the things that are really cool within ClicData. We offer the services to do that. From as easy as having somebody who can sit down and help you map out the best way to put those dashboards into play, how to connect to those data sets, and how to kind of walk through all that. We kind of call that coaching and training. It's included with every subscription. And then from there, we go into things like we'll build out the dashboards. We'll swing the hammer. We'll do the heavy lifting, and we'll do everything for you. We also provide dedicated account managers, somebody who can actually know your account, understand what you're wanting to accomplish as your needs arise. So today we talked about how to blend data from your telephony system, not just RingCentral, any telephony system, any CRM, any marketing system, social media, any of those things that you have that you need to understand how your customers are interacting with your sales, customer service, and APAR reps. We can provide a better way of doing that, a more clear way of doing that, a single version of the truth, reports that are provisioned for individuals, for teams, and for senior management, and the ability to actually distribute and automatically publish these reports via dynamic dashboards and using our live link. Hopefully you've got some benefit out of this today. At this time, we'll take any questions that we may have.
Hey, Rob, we do have a question. So I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit of tell you a few questions that I've received. Okay. The first question is in terms of the CRM system. It's reading through the question, it seems like this particular client has been managing multiple Salesforce account and multiple Infusionsoft account and multiple RingCentral accounts. It seems like a consulting agent that they're managing multiple clients. Is there a limit on how many accounts you can connect to ClicData?
That's a great question. Actually, we do not limit the number of connections you can make. So let's say that you have multiple Salesforce accounts and a single RingCentral account. You could connect all your Salesforce and the one RingCentral. Maybe you are a consultant and you are doing some work for somebody and you have multiple CRM, not only CRM instances, but different brands of CRMs, as well as multiple RingCentral or other voice over IP accounts. You can connect all of them. The great part about it is you can keep all of that information segregated so that each client only sees their information. That information is never combined or blended, and you're able to manage all of your clients under a single account.
Awesome. Thanks, Rob. That's great. The next question is in terms of this particular client has moved from a different telephony system to RingCentral, and the question is along the lines, can they use the historic data from the other system and merge it with RingCentral data? I'm going to take that on, Rob. So yes, the answer is yes, you could do that. ClicData allows you to create union between data sets. So if you already have a historical data that resides on a different platform, you can export it out and upload it to ClicData. Once uploaded, you can connect your RingCentral and you can create a union between these two data sets so that the historical data set sits on top of this old data set. And on your dashboard, you would be able to not only see RingCentral data, but also the historical data that you have on the other system. The other question I have, Rob, that goes for you. Does the use of each connectors cost something?
Each of our tiers allow you to connect to a certain number of data connectors. We have premium through enterprise. Even with our premium account, you can connect to the vast majority of the data connectors we offer. If you can connect to it, there's no additional charge for it. If it's part of your subscription, there's no additional charge, and you can use that connector an unlimited number of times. We do not charge for dashboards. We do not charge per connection. So it becomes very flexible for you to create the solution you're looking to create.
Awesome. Thanks, Rob. We're going to take this last question. The last question is around how many users can you have on a particular account on ClicData? Rob, do you want to take that on?
Sure. So if you would like, we can provide a subscription with unlimited users. The majority of our clients we see having anywhere between 10 to 30 users on an account. You can have, let's say you want to have a team that has a single login. That's fine. We have no problem with that. Just know that when someone logs in under a team login and password, everybody on that team is going to see that information. So basically, a named user and a named password will provide specific information that's related to that login and password. Additionally, if you would like to share your dashboards with a number of people, you can actually create public dashboards where we do not limit how many people can access those and see that, but they are what they are, and that is a public dashboard. I think I answered the question correctly. Shri, if you have any input, that's fine, but I think, like you said, this is our last question.
No, that was perfect, Rob. Thanks a lot. We do have a few other questions, but since we're running out of time, we'll make sure we reach out to those users by email, and we'll also be sending this recording. Rob, off to you. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like Shri said, this recording will go out to everybody that's registered for the webinar. We'll also post this to our webinar archive page. There's some pretty good stuff on there. I also recommend that you take a look at our social media. You see that there. If you'd have any questions, feel free to reach out to sales at ClicData or support at ClicData. I'm Rob Wood. Thank you, Shri Neve, and everybody else that's joined us. Thank you for your time today, and have a wonderful rest of your day.